what's happening? I'm your host, Paula Hersey, and I'm here today to talk about an initiative called Making Ends Meet. I'm with Andy Gesner from We Can and Stephanie Cox from the Community Action Committee of Cape and Islands. Ooh. That's what I did it, mouthful. Why don't you tell us a little about Making Ends Meet? What does that mean?
Well, it's an initiative that we started last year. 4 organizations got together and thought, you know, it's so hard for people to really make a life on Cape Cod, piecing together money here and due to the resort economy. And we thought, you know, we wanted to find a way to raise funds and raise awareness at the same time. And that's what this initiative is about. And we have partnered with restaurants who are willing to hand people with their check a little card that's in the credit card slot that describes the initiative, with some envelopes in the flap.
Okay.
And what we hope is that people will read the card and think about it, and maybe, if we're lucky, make a donation. Yes. And they can just leave it in the check presenter, and we pick them up at the restaurants. And last year, I think we raised 13 or 14,000 that way.
Oh, that means so much to folks here on the Cape. Like you said, have to struggle with 4, 5, 6 jobs sometimes in the summertime just to make it through the winter.
Right.
What other organizations are involved?
Well, we're thrilled to be involved for our first time this year. So Community Action Committee of Cape Cod and Islands, which is an anti-poverty agency, our charge is to help people who are struggling with the federal poverty line make ends meet. Our slogan is actually helping people help themselves. So we run a child care voucher program in addition to a number of other programs. Our 2 other partners are just down the road, the Family Pantry in Harwich and Community Development Partnership in Eastham.
Oh, so it spans mid to lower Cape.
Mid to lower Cape, and just thinking about the issues. So the Family Pantry of Cape Cod serves all of Cape
Yes.
and has a fabulous pantry, in addition a really wonderful garden, and just does a great job. And Community Development Partnership works primarily on housing and economic development issues.
Okay.
And We Can supports women who are struggling on the Cape or who are in transition, and we serve women from the Bridges to Provincetown. So together, we can.
I like that. Excellent. So as folks are here for the summer, and I'm taking a trip down to the Lower Cape, what's a couple of restaurants I might be able to help this initiative? Where can I eat?
Well, gee, there's lots of options. You can go right next door to We Can, to Alouette, which has just opened under new ownership, and have some lovely French food. Or you can go to Orleans, up to the Rock Harbor Grill. Or head up to Provincetown to Max in P-Town, or Devon's and Devon's Deep Sea Dive.
Max in P-Town, okay.
There's quite a combination of different types of restaurants too. So if you're just looking for a nice breakfast, Chrissy over at Good Friends Cafe in West Dennis makes them the best homemade bread. I'll tell you there. And we've got some of the nice, more, you know, the Italian Norabella, and the newly opened Dennisport Red Nun, as well as the Chatham Red Nun. A couple other places you can go to.
Excellent.
Lots of local favorite hangouts, as well as fun spots for the tourist and summer people.
Right.
Well, I do see the couple of these folks, the Chatham Squires, on the list, and there's usually a trip or 2 in my future down to the Squire in the summertime that people watch.
And even Wendy's, when we were doing this last year, we got a call from the owner of Wendy's who said, you know, I'd like to help, and they put out coin jars. And last year they raised, I think, about $1,000 that way for the event, the initiative, which was awesome.
So if a restaurant does want to help, are you still accepting them to be able to come in?
Well, they might not be able to get into the ads, because we have all the newspaper ads set. But I imagine we take another restaurant or 2, because the more the merrier. We're hoping to raise more money, raise more awareness, and get the word out. That's really what the goal is.
Excellent. When we talk about the economy here on the Cape, we know that we do have obviously a tourism-based economy, and we have a slogan here that we've used for years now, which is keep it local, or buy local, or eat local. This is such a wonderful initiative to me as a local, as well as anybody who is visiting here who wants to feel like a local, is actually go to these restaurants and get a meal here. Tell me.
And give local.
And give local. See,
right.
there's a new one.
Yeah.
Buy, eat, and give.
Well, you know, when you think about it, so imagine you're visiting here for a week or 2 weeks on vacation, and you know, you don't really know that much about the area, and then you go out to eat and you're having a great meal, and then you sort of see this in the check, and it's like, oh, here's a way that I can support this community that I'm in. And you know, we opened envelopes that had 5 singles. We opened envelopes that had a couple of $20 bills. We opened envelopes with checks. People took them away and mailed them in to us because they can use a credit card. You know, it was really a mix, and it was really gratifying to see these people sending us money from New York or Vermont or wherever they might be, and knowing that they were probably just visiting the Cape and decided to support the local economy, like you said.
That is absolutely beautiful. And some of the programs that your organizations promote and obviously try to help folks, I know the Community Action, you talked a little bit about some of the programs. How about weekends programs? What will some of this money support?
Well, we have a really exciting year-long mentoring program where women like us mentor other women like us, and we're actually recruiting for it right now.
Great.
And you know, the thing that's great about initiatives like this is that it gives us flexible money, so we can use it, and that's a program that we would love to support somewhat with this effort.
Okay. And did you have something in your organization that would be earmarked for this, or would it go to your general, just helping folks meet ends meet?
Right. I mean,
what a great title.
Yeah, that is, it's you know, it's really important to make sure that there is that, as Andy said, that flexible funding, because as much as we like to be able to have everything go directly, you know, to programs and whatnot, you know, you need to be able to sustain the organization and be able to have a little bit of flexible things to come up with new ideas. And so we're in the midst of strategic planning right now. We're really excited about where we're going to take this agency, and dig a little bit deeper in how we can help people, because you know, I grew up here. I've lived here my whole life, with the exception of a few years off Cape. And I've seen a lot of people over the years really not being able to break the cycle of poverty. And you know, I think that we can be doing more. And part of, I think, the great value of this initiative is that you're seeing 4 organizations independently, without any sticks involved, coming together and working for the betterment of our constituency. That
No silos here.
No.
Yeah.
And that's what we really like to do. You know, the idea of partnering and working with others on initiatives like this is great, because then you get to know the other programs, you get to know the other people involved, and then then you can partner on, you know, we're about to partner on a service project with the Community Development Partnership, which we probably wouldn't be doing if we hadn't been working on this and some other things together, and gotten to know each other and gotten to know the work of the other organizations so well. So I think it's a really great way to promote that kind of cross-fertilization and collaboration.
That is really, I think, what it's about. I had heard numbers down here on the Cape of how many nonprofits that are actually there, and you always think, is, you know what, if again, if you pool some of your resources together, it's for the better for everyone. You know, you can do larger events, you can do wider events. A lot of folks that visit Cape Cod don't realize that it's not one little town that they come to, that there's 15 towns, and it does take you 2 hours to get to Provincetown from Bourne.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I was just thinking, you know, if Jay were here, he might tell you the story about how we got this idea, because we didn't make it up. He was, I think, in London, and at a restaurant, he actually brought us the card. And you might not even know the story.
No, I don't think I do.
And they had some kind of initiative, I don't remember what it was called, but they gave it to every diner, and they actually almost levied a tax on everybody, so that you paid £1 to this fund, whatever it was. Same idea. And he thought it was and he had been a restaurant owner. He owned Chester up in Provincetown with his partner, and so he thought it was a great idea, and so he pitched it to me and to Larry Marsland at Lower Cape Outreach, and then we pulled in the Family Pantry, and that's what we did our first year. And this year we pulled in Community Action, which is great, because that's what's fun too, is involving different organizations and getting to know each other, and also serving providing different services on the Cape.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is only the second year
Yes.
that this has been
Right.
well,
And
you
we
guys
hope
have
to-
done an amazing job, especially for some of the restaurants that are on here. These, there is no shortage of restaurants on Cape Cod.
No, it's true.
But some of these folks on the list are the cream of the crop of some of our restaurants down here. And a lot of fun. Like I said, the Chatham Squire, you've got the Sailing Cow right here in Dennisport. You've got 400 East, which is always a great
Right.
partner.
The Red Pheasant over on
The
6A.
Red Pheasant, oh my
That's
goodness.
great.
Ooh, I think my
Yep.
husband owes me an evening out, don't you?
Yep, Ebb Tide right down the road.
Ebb Tide right
Yep,
down the road.
yep.
So.
Embargo and Hyannis. We've got
Ooh,
lots of
Embargo
options.
and
So if you're going to get some
Hyannis,
tapas
exactly.
And also, we have to thank the restaurants because this is their busiest time.
Yes.
And so we're asking them to just do
Right.
a little bit more, when they hand the check, to put the card in the envelope,
Mm-hmm.
and we hope that they can have the time to do that. And we really appreciate it. And we don't want to dig into anybody's tips because,
Right.
we know that a lot of the people we're helping are those folks who are working in those restaurants.
Exactly,
So,
exactly. If
yeah.
you're, if you're watching this, you're probably someone who's either a resident or a summer resident. So you probably have a certain level of awareness that it's not as easy here as everyone imagines over the bridge. That we all have our yachts in the back that we go to.
I know.
And so if you have any friends down who are visiting, people coming to visit, and I know I get a little frustrated sometimes when people come to visit and say, "Oh, you run an anti-poverty agency on Cape Cod." There's poverty on Cape Cod.
Right, exactly.
This is a nice way to educate people. Say, hey, go out to this place, and they get to learn a little bit more. And again, recognize that the person who's waiting on your table may be working a second, third, or fourth job.
Right.
May be struggling as far as health insurance goes, and may just be trying to cobble everything together. That's what we do. As an economy, but it's also what we do as a community. And that's what Making Ends Meet is pulling everyone together, all these resources and organizations together, as well as business, restaurant leaders, and you.
That's fantastic. 2 months. So people really have some time to take advantage of this. Why don't you, before we finish off here, is give me some dates of when this runs and some more information if people want to print out the list of restaurants and things like that. So
Great.
when does it start?
So it starts on July 10th, and it runs
July
to
10th.
mid-September till the 15th.
Okay.
And then this year we have a website, and so all of the restaurants are listed on the website.
Okay.
And also people can make donations on the website as well, and that's www.makingendsmeetcapecod.org.
Okay.
And I think we decided that we would give that a try. We didn't have it last year.
Okay.
And see if that, if that helps.
That's great. July 10th through September 15th. So I get multiple evenings out.
Right, right. You get to go a lot.
I get to go, again, if we treat ourselves to a meal out, we always look to, one, obviously in our own neighborhood, but two, is there initiative? Is there something that I can do to help
Right.
just by eating out?
Yeah.
We have an initiative during the wintertime that is Restaurant Week and things
Right,
like
exactly.
that promotes the folks in the off season.
I have to say, one of the business owners is the Land Ho in Harwichport. He a while back said, we do advertising, but I'd rather just be able to put on different events. And he hosted a fundraiser for Community Action Committee, our first since I've been executive director, and just in the past few months. And I am so loyal to that restaurant as a result. I mean, and I send my friends there, I send tourists there. So it really, again, it goes back to the idea of a community, and we're so grateful to these restaurant owners.
Yeah.
Dylan and all of them.
No, I think that's a really good point, what you just made, because, like I said, this is their busiest time of the year. This is when they're making hay, and that they're willing to step up and support us. And, I know in talking to a number of these restaurants, they were right there with us when we asked them to do it. They were right there to help. And so I would say, if you go to a restaurant, thank them.
Yes.
Thank them,
please.
because that's what I feel like. I go to the restaurant and I try to find the owner, and I'll just say, thank you for participating in this. It really makes a difference. And I'll send this link to my board and say, when you go to any of these places, thank them.
Right.
Because they could be doing a million other things. They don't need to do this.
Yeah.
Right. July 10th through September 15th. And the website again?
www.makingendsmeetcapecod.org.
The initiative is Making Ends Meet. Go out to eat, folks. We've got great restaurants on this list, and they're helping our community. I'm Paula Hersey, and this is What's Happening.